During World War II, the institution of the draft necessitated the need for medical screening, physical, psychological, and mental. During this time, the Rorschach inkblot test became firmly established as a quick glance into mental and psychological wellness. During this period, it became evident that there were mental health issues in the United States that had previously been largely unknown. Welcome to Connecting Consciousness Illinois. I'm Stanley Smith. Connecting Consciousness is a worldwide network of like-minded people. When we're all connected, we're encouraged and empowered individually and collectively. Does like-minded mean we all believe the same things? Probably not, but we are respectful that everyone is on their own personal timeline. Some are ahead of us and perhaps some are trailing behind somewhat. Our spiritual topic this month is spirituality. And one of the study questions is, how long have you been aware that you are a spiritual being? They note that the question is not how long have you been a spiritual being, but instead, how long have you been aware of it? For some of us, that sounds like a lot of responsibility, like putting on your best clothes for a special occasion. You have to be on your best behavior. When sometimes we just want to put on our crummy clothes and be a slob. One of our members quizzed me why some of our members seem to be a little bit negative, and we discussed that could be for many reasons, perhaps shock or trauma, or as a way of deflecting or being in denial. Perhaps it's a way to be validated. Whether we might be seen as negative by some or Pollyannish to others, it's safe to say that most of us are trying really hard to figure this all out. I'm the kind of person that likes to get things done and have everything all wrapped up. I don't like change, and I don't want anything to be different. I'm the last person to leave the party because I just have to know how it all turns out. At Washington National Cathedral, Dana Casella preached a sermon this winter about how even good things come to an end. She said, even joy dies. I was so startled by that because I just assumed that if it's a good thing, it's supposed to keep on going. But on my journey, I've learned to let some things just be. This is new to me. And in fact, I have not really learned it, but it's presented itself as the only option in more and more circumstances to just let it be there. As we navigate this time between two dimensions, between the reality of three dimensions of time, space, and matter to that of five dimensions with the addition of the spiritual and intuition, it's a very awkward time. We struggle with the urge to fix our broken system, understand our broken system, and figure it out instead of just letting it be. We struggle with trying to be the organization of connecting consciousness. We have to work within the current context while being mindful of those limitations. This calls for empathy and understanding for ourselves, others, and for our organization. Perhaps some feel they need to break away and do their own thing, but that would be like being on an airplane and announcing to the crew that you're going to take your seat and start your own airplane. Good luck with that. The great exemplar asks us to return no one evil for evil. We're not called to out-evil the evil, but to counter evil with good. I'm not suggesting that we live in a world of puppy dogs and smiles. Reinhold Niebuhr and his brother N. Richard Niebuhr, theologians and philosophers of Elmhurst College, right here in Illinois, were central to the creation of the doctrine of Christian realism. Christian realism is the concept that we live in a fallen world, and when evil is encountered, it's necessary to oppose evil with an equal countering response. This doctrine of Christian realism was central to the US foreign policy of the 1950s and 1960s. When we're a baby in the womb, we have a context, a reality, and a very real support system. We have a good thing going. We can imagine what it's going to be like to be born, but I don't think in our wildest imagination we would ever believe what that was going to be like in another dimension. And if someone tried to explain it to us, what it's going to be like to make this transition, we would most certainly think they are insane. When we look into the Rorschach inkblot of our own lives, what do we see there? Do we see the world as we know it, a world that makes sense to us? Or do we see the best is yet to come? Whether you're all dressed up in your spiritual best or are more of a spiritual slob, we are all in this together. And I hope you will join me in seeing that, in fact, the best is yet to come. If you would like to learn more about Connecting Consciousness Illinois, I will include my email in the description of this video, and I look forward to seeing you very, very soon.